Hello, future doctors. Good day. So today I have downloaded a primer from the PRC website. Okay. So this is a physician primer. This will serve as an introduction for our course, our topic. Before we begin, let me read to you a quote from Hippocrates, considered to be the father of modern medicine. So, as to diseases, make a habit of two things: to help, or at least to do no harm. So, in his quotes, you can see the principles of beneficence, okay, to help, and the principle of non-maleficence, to do no harm. So, this primer is brought to you by the Professional Regulation Commission, PRC, and the Board of Medicine. So, who is a physician? Okay? A physician is a trained person who examines, diagnoses, treats, does surgery, or prescribes remedies for human disease, injury, deformity, and all physical, mental, and physical conditions or ailment, real or imaginary. So, by definition, a physician, a medical doctor, is the one who treats the person, okay? Study the disease of the person, acts as a facilitator, acts as a experimenter. He is the one who studies the disease. He is the one who prescribes the remedies, prescribes the medication, and at the same time, he is the one who helps the patient heals himself. So, what are the skills and competencies that is required to become a medical doctor? First is interest in science and art. And then good communication skills. Of course, if you are a doctor, you should be a good communicator. You should be able to verbalize your thoughts, your ideas, and convey it to your patients. Next, passion for reading and lifelong learning. Okay? The study of medicine is a lifelong journey because first, the amount of time needed to become a doctor is very long. Before you have to go to a medical school, you need a baccalaureate degree, more or less 4 years. And then after graduating on the baccalaureate degree, you study in the medical school for another 4 years. And then after graduation, you need to take a postgraduate intern for 1 year in order to take the board exam. After taking the board exam, you pass. However, you are considered only a general practitioner. So you need to have another probably 3 years for residency in order for you to find the field that you are good at, whether internal medicine, gynecology, and so on and so forth. And then after that, you need to have your specialty or subspecialty. Okay? So the study of medicine is a continuous journey. So there is no stopping once you study medicine. And then consensus and interested in research. Of course, the human body is very miraculous. Okay, you need to study all its part, its anatomy, um, everything inside the human body. in order to treat a disease. Furthermore, there are also updates in medication. That's why you need to upgrade your knowledge every now and then. Next is leadership potential. A doctor is more often than not a leader. Okay? In a hospital setting, there is what you call a healthcare team. And the leader of the team is the doctor. That is why it is incumbent upon you to learn leadership qualities in order to be able to lead your team at the right direction. Next skill that is required is can work well in a team. Okay? Like what I said, um, the doctor is the one who will lead the healthcare team. That is why being harmonious, okay, working harmoniously with the medical team is very essential. Next skill is ability to handle stress in emergency situation. Of course, the practice of medicine is very stressful, okay? It will drain you. It will consume your energy. That is why you must learn how to manage your stress, learn how to manage your time in order for you to be effective and efficient. Okay? So this primer was taken from the PRC website. You can download it there. So this is a drawing, The Doctor by Luke Feldis, year 1949. Now let's go to the basic educational requirement. So like what I've said before, baccalaureate degree in science or art. Before you can enroll in formal medical school, you need a baccalaureate degree, more or less 4 years, okay, as a requirement. Next, appropriate national medical admission test or NMAT, okay. You need an NMAT. This is like the entrance exam for medicine. This is a national exam. So NMAT is a condition sine qua non, okay, a requirement, a condition precedent before entering a medical school. Next is personal interview. Okay, the school administration will interview you whether or not you can meet the requirements. Next is cost of education. Okay, it is public knowledge that the cost of education of medicine is very high. Okay. On the average, the cost of education ranges from 80,000 pesos to 120,000 pesos per semester in private colleges and universities. The cost of the educational program is 50% to 75% lower in state universities and colleges. Okay? So because of the course itself, that is why the money involved is very high because you need to study the human body, and the facility of the school must be up to date, and then it must be complete in order for the students to have the basic knowledge that is needed to become a doctor. Then the employment opportunities, okay? So once you pass the exam and then study for residency and then study for subspecialty, after that you become a consultant, okay? So in this slide, you can see the employment opportunities of a medical doctor. First is a clinician, a medical practitioner. You can either be a generalist, a specialist, or subspecialist, okay, depending on the field that you will pursue, whether neurology, gynecology, orthopedics, okay, family medicine, and so on and so forth. You can also teach academician, okay, as a medical doctor, just like lawyers. Um, if you have graduated in the College of Medicine, your level is considered to be a master's degree, okay, under the law. So you can teach in colleges and other universities. You can also go to public health, okay? You can serve the state. Being a doctor, the practice of medicine is imbued with public interest. That is why if you are a doctor, you are considered to be an influencer. Okay? You are an influencer. You influence the place. You influence people. People looks up to you. People listens to you because you are an expert. So that is why your services can be rendered in public health. Next is researcher, scientist. Okay? Doctors are one of the smartest people in the world. And of course, research should be very research should be done, okay, all the time because there are new diseases being discovered also all the time. And if we will not find cure for this disease, millions of people will die. For example, this pandemic, okay? Most often than not, doctors, scientists, they are working, okay, day and night, 24 hours in order to find a vaccine, okay, against this COVID-19. Next is leader, manager, business, politics. Because of the influence of doctors, okay, they can go to public service, okay, they can run to public office, they can be appointed as health secretaries, they can go to business because they know what the patient needs, okay. So sky is the limit. Next, administrator. Okay. If you want a job within the hospital setting, you can be a hospital administrator. Okay. You can be a school administrator in the College of Medicine. Next, practice in foreign countries. Of course, if you are a medical doctor, you can work in any countries because the course itself, okay, the profession itself is very in demand wherever whatever country it is. Okay, so this is the primer which was downloaded in the www.prc.gov.ph. Okay. So if you are already a full-fledged medical doctor, you can practice medicine. Okay? Because there are instances where practice of medicine is illegal. And if you do these illegal things, okay, the three-pronged liability of a doctor will attach. Okay? So what are the three-pronged liability of a doctor? The administrative liability first. So you can either be suspended or your license be revoked or removed. Next is the civil liability where you will pay the patient in a form of damages, okay? Civil liability. Another is the criminal liability. So you can be imprisoned if you are criminally liable. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean if after taking the exam conducted by PRC, you become automatically a doctor. No, okay? Because there are steps, okay? The final step where you are considered to be a full-fledged doctor is upon taking the Hippocratic Oath. Okay? So, for example, you take the board exam for physician and then you were number one, you passed that exam. So, the next step is to process for your certificate of registration. After processing for your certificate of registration, still you are not considered a full-fledged doctor because the last step, okay, the final step of becoming a full-fledged physician is the taking, okay, of the Hippocratic Oath. Okay, this is the Hippocratic Oath, which was conceptualized by Hippocrates himself. So I have also downloaded the Hippocratic Oath from the website of the Philippine Medical Association, the PMA. So this is the Hippocratic Oath. Let's read together. I swear by Apollo the healer, by Aesculapius, by health and all the powers of healing, and to call witness all the gods and goddesses that I may keep this oath and promise to the best of my ability and judgment. I will pay the same respect to my master in the science as to my parents and share my life with him and pay all my debts to him. I will regard his sons as my brothers and teach them the science if they desire to learn it without fee or contract. I will hand on precepts, lectures, and all other learnings to my sons, to those of my master, and to those pupils duly appointed and sworn, and to none other. I will use my power to help the sick to the best of my ability and judgment. I will abstain from harming or wrongdoing any man by it. I will not give a fatal draught to anyone if I am asked, nor will I suggest any such thing. Neither will I give a woman means to procure an abortion. I will be chaste and religious in my life and in my practice. I will not cut even for the stone, but I will leave such procedure to the practitioners of that craft. Whenever I go into a house, I will go to help the sick and never with the intention of doing harm or injury. I will not abuse my position to indulge in sexual contacts with the bodies of a woman or of men, whether they be free men or slaves. Whatever I see or hear, whether professionally or privately, which ought not to be divulged, I will keep secret and tell no one. If therefore I observe this oath and do not violate it, may I prosper both in my life and in my profession, earning good repute among all men for all time. If I transgress and forswear this oath, may my lot be otherwise. Okay? So as you can observe, the Hippocratic Oath itself has hidden messages, okay, hidden meaning, which can be expounded in the ethics. Okay, I have already discussed the professional code of professional responsibility for doctors. So in that lecture, the Hippocratic Oath is extensively applied. Okay? So, like what I've said, The wordings of the Hippocratic Oath is full with hidden messages. So this is the Hippocratic Oath. Okay. So in this discussion, that serves as our introduction for our course. So guys, thank you for listening and God bless us all.